Hello everyone, this is your girl, my dad, and this is my dad series. Before we start, I would just love to thank you all so much for the kind of support that you've given me, you've shown me. You made the launch of this YouTube channel such a big success, and I cannot thank you all enough. And I'm sure if at all the topics that we discuss here don't affect you directly, or they don't just benefit you directly, I'm sure there's someone somewhere who can actually benefit from whatever we are discussing, or whatever we discuss every day, through you. So we thank you for joining us, and today I would love to talk about this topic that is very close to my heart. This is because of the kind of experience I went through with my parents when I got pregnant. The way they reacted to, the pregnancy news, and the way I expected them to react, and the way it affected the way how it affected the way we used to, relate with them when I was pregnant and even after. I'm talking about this topic because I know of girls whom were maybe kicked out of their parents' house just because they got pregnant earlier than the parents expected. I know of girls who don't even talk to their parents just because they got pregnant earlier than the parents expected. As in, that experience and that act of getting pregnant early kind of affected their relationships. So I was asking, is this reaction that our parents put up towards the news, or towards us getting pregnant, really justified? And if it is, can it actually affect the way you relate? Can it affect the way these people are supposed to guide us through the situation? Because you need your parents, you need your guardians. I'm not talking about just parents. You might be having both parents. You need them during that journey. You might be having maybe just big siblings without the parents in the picture, and you actually need their guidance, by the way. Or you might be having guardians who actually might get mad, or just be frustrated, or just feel so disappointed in you when you get pregnant earlier than they expected, or maybe when you're in school. So I was asking the kind of reaction that they give us, and I will use my story to actually explain what I mean by the reaction that our parents put up, including the ones I've told you about, just maybe being kicked out, being thrown at, like, insults every day, things of that sort. Is it really justified? And if it is, can it actually affect the way you relate even after the pregnancy? Can it really affect the way, the fact that they are supposed to actually guide you? Can it affect that channel between through which they're supposed to guide you through the journey? Because when you get pregnant early, you definitely do not have maternal skills. I didn't have any maternal skills when I got pregnant, and I remember I was even scared of carrying my own baby, my newborn baby. I was so scared because I felt maybe I might do something wrong, and maybe break her or something. So so, as in, just things like that. We need guidance, we need guidelines, we need training. By the way, there are a lot of things that you can't just be told, you're supposed to do this and do them right. You're supposed to be actually trained on how to do them exactly. And can you actually get the kind of training, the kind of guidelines, the kind of guidance that you require when you are not even in a good let me say, in a good place with your parents? I will use my story as I said earlier. So when I got pregnant, my dad and my mom, they both were really so disappointed in me. They were mad at me, as in sincerely mad at me. I remember after the major sit down with my dad, he never talked to me for like 6 months, until when I was almost going to theater. But my mom, being someone who expresses her feelings, was really at it, with me. And I could just maybe pass her by, and maybe you just hear her click or sneer. I could ask for just something very something, that it's there, you know but I could be faced with maybe something like, go ask your baby daddy, or am I the one who told you not to, asked you to go and get pregnant at school. At times I could just have a small argument with my siblings, and they bring up, the fact that you got pregnant while in school. Your baby daddy has not even shown up. We are not even sure if you even know him, because he didn't actually come home until when my baby was very big. Yes, my baby, not my baby bump, my baby, because he doesn't even know how I look while pregnant. But that's a story for another day. As in, just the way people people relate to you when you're pregnant. And I will say this, as in time and again, that their reaction is okay. I think they have every right. By the way, that's my take. Our parents have every right to behave the way they do when we get pregnant early. Our parents have as in, they are entitled to behave the way they behave. They are entitled to react the way they react to the fact that you get pregnant early. But now my issue is, will that really be beneficial to both of you in any way? Because I can imagine, I used to really have a hard time even just talking to my mom, because I could not just go to her and maybe ask for something, because I knew that every time I talked to her, I reminded her of the fact that, I got pregnant while at school. And just the fact that my dad went silent on me, I felt like, he was entitled to do that. He needed time to maybe heal. But I felt like I needed him. Even if he cannot teach me any maternal skills, he cannot tell me, this is what you're supposed to do for the baby. But I'm sure just that support of a dad, just knowing that your dad is there, could have actually helped me in a way. And my mom could not even be talked to. Every time I tried to talk to her, I could just be, maybe insulted, or just get maybe just told like nasty things that I wouldn't want to hear at that time. And it was actually serious, because I remember at 5 months, when I was 5 months pregnant, my mom told me of plans of her traveling to our home up country. And when she told me that, I was like, wow, this is my only chance to freedom. This is my only shot at freedom. So what I did, as she was packing her things, I was also packing my suitcase, not to go to her with her, because I was so overwhelmed by everything that was happening around me. And I felt like, I had been so remorseful about the fact that I got pregnant, because I knew I was on the wrong. By the way, I never even just like defended myself even to my siblings. While I was pregnant, I never did that, by the way, because I knew that I was actually on the wrong, and I had let them down in a way. Whether they are my parents or not, even just out there, someone could just tell me, I remember there's this colleague of my mom's who told me one day, hey msichana, haungengoja hadi umalize shule ndio ufanye hizi vitu, haiendi mahali. Couldn't you just wait until you finish school, then you do these things? They're not going anywhere. And I didn't say a word. And that is not me. That's not the normal me, because I'm the kind of person who, when you tell me something that I'm I'm not okay with, I'll actually tell you why you should not say it to me. But I didn't, because I knew, I had to be remorseful. I had to calm down, as in kuja chini. I had to. So it really affected me in a lot of ways. Though I I was not able to run away. Now that I think my mom noticed that I had also packed and decided to carry me along with her, and she gave me such a big jumper so that I could no one could see my tummy, my already growing baby bump. And I remember she did not even tell her family that I was pregnant until when I was very, very, as in close to giving birth. That was when I think she was bold enough to at least talk to her sisters about it. But I felt like she was on her own right. Yes, I felt like she actually needed that time, and she needed to do these things. Maybe it was part of her healing process. But now, all these things that were happening made me feel like these people did not understand me. These people did not even acknowledge the fact that I was remorseful. I knew that I was wrong, and I had asked for forgiveness many times, very many times. But I felt as if these people didn't even understand me. So how could I even ask them for, like, for anything or even about anything? I could not even talk to my own mother, because I felt, every time I talk to her, she just remembers, you know, you got pregnant while at school. Every time I talked to her, I felt like, she felt that I had no moral authority of even, I could not even correct anyone in the house, by the way. I could not. They felt like I had no moral authority to say anything, any right thing in that house. And it really affected me because, I was at a place when I was still growing, but I was forced to now concentrate on being a mother than concentrating on that crucial growth stage. You get? I did not have any maternal skills. I did not even know, as in, what pregnancy entails, how I was supposed to carry myself around. Though at least my mom used to once in a while tell me, when she sees me doing something I shouldn't do, she used to actually, say something. But I had a lot of questions, a lot of curiosity. At times I could just feel something weird and ask myself, who can I even talk to? Who can I go to? Because it's like these people are so judgy. These people are so, they don't understand me. They don't get the place that I'm at right now. Because even though you will have made a mistake, you still need attention when you're pregnant. You still need that feeling of understanding. You still need that feeling of feeling at home with people, so that you can actually ask, because you have never been pregnant before. And even if you have, even we get even mothers of 4 having a lot of questions to ask about their 4th or 3rd pregnancy. So it really affected the way that I uh, I perceived things, and it actually went even past post pregnancy, because I was not free. By the way, I was not free with my mom, because I felt like, she was mad at me, or maybe I'm so, okay, I have done something so wrong that I'm not even worthy to just ask about something. You get? So I will say yes, they are justified. The reactions of our parents are so justified. But they should also understand that even though this is a period when, they're also hurting, but you need them more than they actually need you at that time. You need them more because they are your parents, and if they are there, or they are your elder siblings, they are your guardians. Even if you have a lot of other people around you, you'll definitely want to talk to someone who's close to you. But you cannot do this because these people are actually looking at you with judgmental eyes. They cannot look past the fact that you actually got pregnant while at school. I have seen people, I have seen very amazing relationships between parents and their daughters being broken just because of that. Because maybe the parent does something, and then goes it becomes even worse, and maybe causes something like a miscarriage, or maybe it just affects the girl. Maybe she gets depressed or something, and after pregnancy, you're there and you're seeing how they are okay with the baby, and you're asking yourself, why did I actually have to go through all this? It might actually cost you your relationships with your daughters, with your parents. So our parents should actually understand that, when someone gets pregnant early, as much as they have, maybe because I know that time is usually a time, as in they feel like maybe they have failed as parents, or they feel that like maybe like it's a test of their parenthood, something of that sort. They feel like maybe you have disobeyed everything they have been teaching you ever since you were little, and they feel hurt and frustrated and disappointed and all that. But they should actually understand that um even though there's a way that you can do all these negative things, you can feel bad about something, you should also look on the brighter side and try and support that girl. I can imagine girls who are not strong enough to just uh, stand out, and to stand their grounds, and just be, to ignore everything that was happening around them, or to just handle it in a better way. I can imagine such girls who talks on their behalf. That is why this topic is actually very close to me, because at 8 months pregnant, I almost lost my baby because she stopped kicking. She stopped moving completely in my tummy, and when I went for an ultrasound, the sonographer told me, what is wrong with you? What is, because you are, as in the baby looks like, she's in good shape, but she's distressed. It's like you know, you are having a lot of, which word can I use? It's like you're taking in a lot. You're taking in a lot than your body can actually take. And by the way, that we talked, he was a man, by the way, and we really talked, and I opened up. I remember really crying, and I told him how I had cried for a whole 9 months just because of the fact that my family does not understand me when I tell them that, I was wrong, and I am remorseful, and I actually need your support through this. And he told me that you'll have to stand your ground and just be strong for this baby. You have sacrificed a lot for this baby, and you cannot just as in lose it just because of other people. And from then I actually became so defensive, and every time anyone told me anything, I was like, save it for after delivery. because I don't want you to like continue incriminating me for something, for a mistake that I have already apologized for. I became so strong, weirdly strong. And at times I even told my mom, no, mom, tafadhali, just don't, not now, not now. Because it was such a crucial stage of my pregnancy, and I could, like, just one mistake could have, maybe caused some drastic what can I say, some could have maybe even caused more serious issues. So I was like, no, I cannot deal with this. I cannot deal with this anymore. And that is how I was able to hold my baby. Yes. But I really sit down and ask myself, what of that girl who cannot do that? What of that girl who actually thought of running away and actually ran away and is suffering somewhere with their baby? Because I was actually planning on running away and not going to my baby daddy's place. No, and I didn't have any money on me, by the way. I only had my suitcase with my clothes and a few of my baby's clothes. So I was just like, I'll just start walking and just go to wherever the road will take me. So I can imagine the girls who were not strong enough to withhold that, to withstand that pressure. The girls who were not strong enough to not actually make that bad decision, because this is why we need our parents. Our decision making skills at that time, they're always poor, because at that time you're not making decisions for yourself, you're making decisions for you and your child. At that time you're not planning anything for yourself, you're planning for your child, you're planning for you. At that time you're facing things that you cannot even understand. You look at your body, the changes you're having, psychologically, mentally, you're exposed to new things that you were not even prepared for. Your body was not even prepared to even just be going through whatever it's going through. So it really takes a lot, by the way. It really takes a lot for a girl to just, carry her pregnancy to term and actually have the baby. And it is so lucky, and it is like, families are so lucky if at all these things happened to, you know to a girl and she was able to just look past them. I have never, by the way, held anything against my mom. I never held anything against my dad for the kind of treatment I received, against my siblings for the kind of treatment I received, and not even received the ones I'm receiving until now, because an argument might arise and they just remind you that you got pregnant while at school. What are you telling us? You get? Until today. The other day, there's this amazing mom in my class who actually texted me and was like, Nekesa, this is happening to me. Did it also happen to you? And I told her it didn't just happen. It is still happening 4 years down the line. It is still happening to me. I still get these things from many people, even just relatives, random relatives. You could have finished school first before you brought this burden to your mother. People, your mother is almost retiring. She should be enjoying herself, not taking care of your baby. These are the kinds of things I get from people who are not even my relatives, by the way. At times even just neighbors. So it really takes a lot, and I would love this to be an open discussion. When you comment, just tell us what you feel about this topic. Tell us what you think should be happening, because I know we have different opinions. Tell us what you feel. Tell us what you went through and how you thought that this could have happened. But parents should also understand that these things really affect your relationship, not just your relationship there, but even after. Because there's some things you might want to ask your mother, but you're like, will she even answer me? I know her as someone who's very judgmental. Can I even ask? And it may save you your relationship with your daughter. Because when you're pregnant, your mother is your best friend. When you're pregnant, your parents are your best friends. When you're pregnant, the people who you look up to, like your elder siblings, maybe siblings who have had babies before, maybe just people in even out there, your friends who are maybe more mature and more experienced in these things, they are actually your guardian angels. So when you don't get the kind of treatment you deserve, or the kind of treatment you expect, it might actually cost you a lot of relationships out here. If you don't give this girl the kind of attention she requires, the kind of help she requires, the kind of guidance she requires, just because you did not show her, you did not give her, that welcoming kind of attitude, so that she feels okay to just come to you and talk about these things, it may actually cost you your relationships with them. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope continue subscribing, continue liking, continue commenting. Please give us your views, whatever you feel should happen. If there are people who maybe will feel like these these reactions from their parents are not justified. There are others who will feel like they're just. Give us your views, and let us know, and let us just talk. And next time when we have the next session, I will try and at least look at these things before we actually go to the topic of the day. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. And until next time. Yes. Don't forget to comment and give your view about the topic of today. Yes. And again, our parents have every right to behave the way they behave when you're pregnant. That is according to me. Our parents are entitled, because these are people who have paid our fees. These are people who have been instilling this attitude, these values in us. These are people who have held our hands all the way, and they expect us to behave in a certain way. And when you don't, they are actually entitled to react the way they do. That's just according to me. And until next time, bye people. Love y'all.